Hi all. So we're going to go through a strong little autumn practice today, focusing on rooting, twists, and letting go. It should be about half an hour-ish. No, I'm not great at timekeeping generally, but shorter than an hour anyway, so you can hopefully fit this in whenever you need to. I'm going to start by sitting on the floor. Come and find a place that feels comfortable for you. As always, it's going to be unedited, so if I do get Neville running in on me, I apologize, but he's super cute anyway. So come and join me when you're ready. So find a nice comfortable seated position for you. For me, that is always crossed legs. For you, that might not be. And if it's not, then that's absolutely fine. Feel free to pop a block underneath your bottom, get a little bit of height, or just stick your legs straight out in front of you, whatever feels good for you today. But wherever you are, bring your fingers down to the floor. Take a moment just to feel nice and rooted for those seat bones. Let those fingers start to ground down into the ground. Close your eyes and engage with the breath. Allow that tummy to rise on the inhale. Belly button all the way back to spine on the exhale. Allow that breath to help settle. Allow that exhale to just take away any of the concerns from today. You're truly breathing it out. And just start to bring attention to that exhale, bring that grounding and rooting down through the fingers. Literally like you're a tree pushing your roots down to the floor through the fingertips. That exhale, breathing gravity down through the body. Good. We'll start to really focus on a little bit of movement here. Nothing too big, but leading and focusing with that breath. So as we inhale, allow that chest to push up to the sky, fingers rooting a bit more. Exhale, curving that spine round, looking towards the feet. Fingers for the moment staying grounded into the floor. Lifting the chest on the inhale like a seed growing towards the light. And that exhale, cocooning us round. One more like this. And then bring the hands onto the knees if it feels good. Focus on that feeling of the fingertips wrapping around those knees. And follow through that breath, making those movements a bit more dramatic now. That inhale really allowing you to lift. That exhale allowing you to curve. Opening and closing as you go. Maybe take a moment here just to start focusing on lengthening that exhale. Making it a little bit smoother, longer, slower. Autumn is our time for slowing down. Autumn is our time for releasing. So allow that exhale to help you with that. Soaking up the last rays of light like you're reaching to the sun and curving around, stretching those shoulder blades. One more time. Good. Come back to the center. Now, if you've got your legs crossed like me, just take your legs and switch them over the other way. I'll shift you back a little bit just to make sure you can see me. The reason we switch over the legs is we always have a preferred side when we sit cross-legged. We just want to make sure those hips stay nice and even. So just switch them over once in a while helps us do that. Take the hands back onto the knees. Again, if you're sat with your legs out straight in front, just bring your hands to wherever feels good. We're going to do a couple of shoulder ducks here and work into a couple of circles. Allow those shoulders to circle round and out, starting with a semicircle. We will go into a first full circle at some point. Let's allow ourselves to really work those shoulders down and in. If you're lucky, you might get a few clicks and cracks. allowing us to really release through those shoulder blades, allowing those arms to work, allowing that spine to get involved. Start to take it lower, starting high off and then starting to see if you can almost get that head towards the floor. Making sure we still come back up, helping us get into that lower spine. Good, and then full circle. You might just bring your fingertips onto the knees at this stage. Going back the other way. Good, no rhyme or reason, just going with the rhythm that feels right for you. Then come back to the center. From here, let's work on those shoulders. Shoulders, we hold a lot of tension. Depending on our personality types, Autumn can make us a little bit out of sync. So let's just really release for that area. So as we inhale, lift those shoulders up, sigh out. 3 more. Good. Okay, we're going to bring those legs out in front of us. So bring your knees up like so. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, bring those legs out in front of you like so. Now, if that feels uncomfortable for you, feel free to pop a little block underneath your bottom or just bend at the knees a little bit. I'm going to move that screen just ever so slightly to make sure you can see my toes. I know the joys of recording, right? And this is going to be desperately uncomfortable. For some people, it will feel fine and luxurious. For others, it depends on how your hips and your hamstrings are. For me, I'll be honest, this isn't the most comfortable position. Those of you that come to the class know that. Feet in front, flick with the feet. A couple of nice flicks. I get a few clicks. It's working it through, especially been walking a lot recently. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into our half Lord of the Fishes. So bring that right foot over the left. Now you have an option here. This left foot can stay out in front of you if that feels good. Or you can take that foot, take it around and bring it beside your bottom. There's no difference. Whatever feels good for you is the route that you should take. We're going to do a nice twist from here. So bring that right hand behind you and bring those fingers into pyramids. Use that hand behind you to get a really nice, solid, straight spine. And we're going to either wrap that arm around the leg or bring that elbow on the outside of that knee. Whichever feels good for you. This is very supportive, helps you pull around. The elbow helps give you a little bit of leverage. Now, whichever you go for, we're going to start with a nice straight spine. Make sure that right foot stays grounded into the floor. Inhale, lift through that spine, looking forward. Exhale, twist and look over that shoulder. Good. Now, if you have that arm-like leverage helping you pull around, then just make sure those fingers are nice and strong, arms nice and straight. Hand behind us is nice and tall, giving us that strength to grow up through the crown of the head. Now make sure you're allowing that tummy to move with the breath. One more breath here. Good, and on the exhale, release that arm, gently come back to the center. Bring both those legs out in front of you again. Again, nice tall spine. If you need to keep a little bend, do. Use that exhale to help you release through the legs a little bit further. We're not going to hold it here for long, but take 2 nice big breaths here. Tummy moving with that breath. Good. Then when you're ready, we're going to take it the other way. Left leg goes over the right, foot goes into the floor. Right leg can be out in front or just swish it round, bringing that heel towards the bottom. Whichever you choose, it's absolutely fine. And you might find one side feels slightly different to the other. Nice, proud posture. Left hand's going to go behind you, fingers in pyramids. Use that hand to help you get a really tall posture, lengthening up through the spine, crown of the head coming towards the sky. Again, you can wrap that right arm round and twist, or you can use it as leverage, arms nice and strong, coming on the outside of that knee. Either way, start with a nice tall spine, proud posture looking forward. Inhale. As we exhale, twist and look over that shoulder. Spine stays nice and long. Tummy moves with the breath. That exhale might help you see if you can go a millimeter or two deeper. Now we're still early on. This is one of our first postures we've done this today. So take it easy on yourself. Don't push it too much. We're warming into that spine. Allowing it to unravel naturally. Just like nature in autumn, you can't rush it. Good, and exhale, coming back to the center. We're going to unravel those legs and we're going to come onto all fours. Just bring your knees down to one side, bring your hands in front of you, and coming into a nice tabletop position like so. You can be underneath the hips, the front of the feet, or on the floor. Hands are in line. So our hands, our elbows, our shoulders all nicely in line with each other. And from here, we're going to work with a couple of cat-cows. So as we inhale, allowing that pelvis to drop down, taking that gaze up. As we exhale, engaging with that core first. Belly button, spine, tilting that pelvis, curving around those shoulders, then looking towards the feet. Go with the flow of your own breath. Good. Now this should be a real core-led movement. So the head should be the last thing to go. And as we move that spine, as we roll it gently with the breath, the head just follows the rest of the spine as it goes. Now inhale, allowing us to release, to relax, to soften everything down to the floor. That exhale engages everything. You can focus on how that makes your shoulders feel. The opening of the chest, the shoulders come together on the inhale. That exhale, where we round those shoulders and push away at the floor, finding that strength in our arms. We just got to do 2 more rounds, going with your own breath, your own speed. That's going to help us warm into that spine really nicely. Good. Now coming back to that tabletop position, nice flat back, engage that core because that's going to help you feel nice and sturdy through the middle, okay? So pull that belly button to spine, but again, we're going to allow it to release with the breath when we need to, just making sure it's engaged and we're aware of it. So we're going to start to warm into the legs. I'll come forward a little bit just to make sure you can see my leg properly. Nothing too scary, just a very nice warm up into it. So on the inhale, we're going to lift that right leg up to the sky. Now, make sure those hips stay nice and level. We don't want to be swaying off to one side or the other. Keep them nicely in line. Foot is flexed towards the bottom. Hold it here for a breath. Good. Now on your next exhale, bring that foot down to the floor and we're going to push into that heel. So the heel's lifted, but we're pushing, starting to engage that leg. Good. Take one more breath here. Now as we inhale, lift that leg again. On the exhale, take that leg over to the left. Push into the toes and look towards the foot. So from here, we're starting to warm into that lower spine, getting a really nice gentle twist. So we're pushing into that heel again. The ball of the foot is touching the floor. The leg is nice and active. So we're building into strong legs, but we're also working into that lower spine. Just take one more breath here. Good. On the exhale, gently bring everything back in. Take a moment, realign, take a breath in between. Still focusing on that core, staying nice and sturdy. So on the inhale, lifting up that right leg. Again, keep those hips nice and level. I'm going to hold it here for a nice long breath. Good. Now on the exhale, bring those toes down to the floor, push into that leg, pushing away at that heel. Ball of the foot is touching the ground, and that leg feels nice and active. Allowing those calves to start to warm into position. Good. Next inhale, lifting that leg up again. On the exhale, taking it over to the right this time. Push into the ball of the foot and look over the shoulder towards those toes. Again, working into that lower spine. Just take two nice big breaths here. Allow that tummy to move with the breath. Great stuff. One more. Bring it back on an exhale. Gently roll up. Shake out those wrists. Have a drink if you need to. So we're going to start nice and gradually coming into our down dog. From there, we're going to do a bit of a hip opener. Hip opener can look a little bit scary. It's not, I promise you. We'll give it a go. If it feels too much at any point, you can come down to puppy pose, which is where you're doing a knee-based version of it. From there, we're going to do a really fun flow. Got water all over me. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the hip opener just for anybody that doesn't know. So we'll come into our down dog like so. We'll cycle out those heels, loosen into those hamstrings, much slower than that. Coming into the down dog, lift the leg into the air, three-legged dog, bend at the knee. On the exhale, we'll open up that hip, look underneath that shoulder, and go from there. So it's really good for the arms, nice and strong, and it's good for opening to that hip as well. Coming back to the center, we'll do the other side. So that's what we're doing. If it feels too much at any point, you can just stay in your down dog. And if down dog feels too much, you can come into your puppy instead, which is like so. And again, if you need to take a break at any point, just take a break. Equally, I'm on record. You can always just pause me, have a break, have a drink, and then come back, okay? Making it sound awful. It's not that terrifying. It's going to be great. Are you ready? So we're going to start coming back into that tabletop position again. Start by making those knees underneath the hips. Hands are just ever so slightly forward of the shoulders this time. Spread the fingers nice and wide. You want a nice solid base. On the exhale, tuck the toes under, and we're going to push that bottom back and up to our down dog. So keep those knees bent to start with. The reason we do that is to get that nice long spine. The back is king here. So push that bottom up to the sky, let the crown of the head go towards the floor, then use the exhale to soften through the heels and start to lengthen through the legs, keeping that back nice and straight. Now let's loosen to those hamstrings nice and gently. So bend at one knee and start to cycle those legs. Nice and slowly. Not like I demonstrated, that was just for demonstration purposes. If you're doing more of a sprinting a down dog, you want to do a leisurely stroll. Good. If you find one hamstring feels tighter than the other, that's perfectly normal. Just bounce into it a little bit if you need to, or in the calf. And then find some level of stillness in the down dog. Bottom pushing up to the sky, arms nice and strong, shoulders pulling away from the ears, and starting to melt those heels towards the ground. Don't worry if they don't touch, mine don't either. Good, now we're going to open up that hip. So on the inhale, lift that right leg in the air, bend at the knee. On the exhale, open that hip out and look underneath that shoulder. We're opening up the side of the body, getting a really lovely stretch for those hips and working into those arms at the same time. Take one more big, beautiful breath here. On the exhale, realign those hips, bring the leg down. Take a breath in between. Feels too much, come down, shake out the hands and start again. Otherwise, inhale, left leg in the air. Bend at the knee. Exhale, open it up and look underneath that shoulder. Moving with that breath. One more breath. Exhale, realign those hips. Bring the foot down. Walk those feet forward, coming into a forward fold. Now, we're not worried about where our back is at the moment. Keep those knees nice and bent. Allow that head to hang. Take a few breaths. We're just chilling out here for the moment. Good. And then we're going to inhale, rise up with those arms going wide into the sky. Exhale, palms together, bring them down. Tummy moving, mountain pose. Just take a few breaths, rock on the feet. One more. Good. Shake out those hands. Okay. Have a drink if you need to again. We're going to do a flow. We're going to do a kind of up sun salutation, if you like. All the elements of the sun salutation are involved. We're going to add a few twists onto that, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. Now, we'll do it all together as we go, because we're going to do the sun salutation nice and slowly. I'm going to warn you here, there's a side plank involved, and there are some twists involved when we come to our lunge. Now, if they don't feel right for you, don't do them. Stay in your normal lunge, or bring that knee down when you're coming into your plank, and the same goes for your side plank, okay? There's lots of different variations. Come towards the front of your mat. That's where we're going to start. We're going to go up and down on this one. Rock on your feet, so nice and grounded. You want to feel like you're pushing to all four corners of the foot. Roll the chest open and then tuck that tailbone under so we know that the spine is stacked on top. Fingers are going to be nice and strong through this. Inhale, lift those arms up. Exhale, palms together, back bend. Look for the wall behind. Good. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reach forward, reach. Inhale, hold. Exhale, full fold. Let the head hang. Start to bring a little bit of stretch for those legs. Good. Take one more breath here. Feel free to rock through the feet if you need to reground yourself. We're going to inhale, hands to shins, straighten out the back, coming into that city posture. Shoulders cascade down the back. Bottom goes to one side of the room, crown of the head towards the other. Nice, long spine. Now we're going to come back into a fold, and we want to make sure we keep that length we've created. So we hinge at the hips from here rather than the back, okay? So nice deep breath in. On the exhale, hinging at the hips, bring that head towards the floor, feeling that lovely stretch down the back, keeping that chest nice and open. Good. Now from here, on an exhale, we're going to take that right foot back, coming into that lunge. Keep that spine nice and long. Keep that gaze looking forward. Now, if this isn't achievable, just shuffle that leg back, however feels good for you, okay? Fingers are down in pyramids. If this feels too much, drop that back knee to the floor. Good. And that's going to apply when we do the twist. So inhale, bring those hands to the chest, elbows out wide. So we've got our hands at the heart center. If this feels a lot, bring that back knee down. Otherwise, keep the toes tucked. On the exhale, we're going to bring that right elbow to the outside of the left leg. Turn and take that gaze up. Good. Lovely, nice deep breaths. That right knee is either up or down. Feel free to change it as you feel. Lovely. On the next exhale, come back to the center, chest is open, inhale here. Exhale, hands either side of that foot, take it back for a plank. Okay, so with our plank, core's engaged, glutes are engaged, feeling like we're in one nice line. No soggy bottoms, no half down dogs. Find that length. If that feels unachievable, bring your knees down and push your weight into the hands like so. Good. Now we come into our side plank. So we're going to just roll onto the right side, lift that left hand into the sky. You want to make sure the bottom and the hip is lifted. As we take that arm up and look towards the thumb. If it feels too much, bring that knee down so the right knee can come to the floor, and that will help you with a little bit more stability here. Good. 2 more breaths. Come out early if you need to. Excellent. Exhale, bring that hand down. Push back up to down dog. Feels so good after that. Have a little cycle of those knees if you'd like to. And then quickly find your stillness. Good. Now from here, on the exhale, come up onto high heels, feed that body forward into a high plank again. Bring your knees down to the floor. Exhale, bend at the elbows. Elbows point back towards the hips. Inhale, lift up to your up face dog. Now if this feels too much, come down to your sphinx instead, where our elbows that go underneath the shoulders. It's really whatever feels good for you. Otherwise, hands up by those lower ribs, really reaching that chest open. Take a nice deep breath, let that shoulders cascade down the back on the exhale. Sigh out if you want to. One more. Good, let it go. Now on your next exhale, we're going to tuck our toes under and we're going to push all the way back up to our down dog. Good. Inhale, lift that left leg into the sky. Exhale, bend at the knee, look forward. Bring it through between the hands, coming back to that high lunge. Now remember, if that doesn't get there, wiggle it forward, take it there however feels good. Nice long spine. On the next exhale, we're going to jump that back foot forward into that forward bend again. Good. Knees are bent, head hangs. Inhale, come to that half fold, nice flat back. Not going to hold it here for long this time. Exhale, full fold. Inhale, arms widen up to standing. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, hands to the heart center. Thumbs pushing into the chest. Take some nice deep breaths. If you're breathing sped up, now's the perfect time to slow it back down. Tummy moving with the breath. Good. Exhale, release. Grab a drink if you want to, because we have 2 sides, which means we need to do the other side. Good. Just make sure you can see me. I'm going to use this as the front of my mat this time. Of course, make sure you use the front of the mat. That's right for you. Have a rocking feet. Hold on, is that the right way around for me? Yes, left. Honestly, don't know my left and right. Good. Have a rock in your feet. Okay, ready? Tailbones tucked under. Shoulders nice and open. Nice proud posture. Get those thumb fingers. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, hands together. Back bend. Look for the wall behind. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Reach, 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 reach forward. Hold it there. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Let them come down to the ground. Head hangs. Finding that beautiful stretch down the back of the legs. Hold for 2 breaths. Good. Inhale, hands to shin, straighten out that back, shoulders cascading down the spine, bottom out to one side of the room, crown of the head out to the other. Give them a nice flat back position. Take another breath here. On the exhale, keep that length you've created, but fold back towards the floor. Good. Now we're going to step back with the left leg this time. So if you need to bend at your knees, if you need to bend at your knees to reach the floor, then do. Otherwise, step back with that left leg, coming back into that runner's lunge or that high lunge. Back is nice and long and strong. Now, keep an eye on this front knee. We want to make sure the knee doesn't go over the ankle. If it does, just creep your foot forward, and that goes for all our lunges, okay? Good. Now, on the next exhale, coming up into that high lunge. Remember that you can bring that back knee down at any time. Hands go towards the chest here, and we're going to come into that twist. Going to take that left elbow onto the right knee, twist and look over that shoulder. Good. Holding here for 3 breaths. Drop that knee at any point. Let tummy move with the breath. And if you can't hook your elbow on the knee, makes no difference. Just get that twist going. Good. Inhale, lengthening up through that chest. Exhale, hands down. Step back to that plank. Good. Nice firm plank with active glutes, active core. Push away at the floor here. I want to feel like we're in one nice line. And from here, we're going to go into that side plank. So rock your weight onto the left. Lift that right arm up to the sky and look towards that thumb. You can stack that right foot on top of the left foot. If the balance is there, keep that gaze up. Hips are lifted. Good. And don't forget, you can drop that knee at any point. One more breath. Good. On the exhale, bring that hand down. Push back up to down dog. Cycle it out again if you want to. Otherwise, find that stillness. Arms lengthening, stretching. Shoulders coming away from the ears. Nice firm down dog. Lovely. Now on the next exhale, high heels. Feed that body forward into that high plank. Everyone drop to the knees. Bend at the elbows. Bring them back towards the hips. Inhale, push up to the up face dog. Good. Adjust as you need to. Come down to your elbows if it feels too much for your lower back. Otherwise, keep that gaze up, and we're going to do 2 sighing breaths again. Good. Nice deep breath. On the exhale, tuck the toes under, push back up to down dog. Good. Okay, inhale, right leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend at the knee. On the exhale, look forward. Pull it between the hands. Again, making sure that knee doesn't come over the ankle and getting it there however you need to. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice long spine. On the exhale, jump that back leg forward. Knees bent, head low into a forward fold. Good. On your next inhale, coming to that half fold again. Nice long spine, shoulders cascading down the back. Finding that length. Good. Exhale, full fold. Then inhale, arms widen up, standing. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Hold it here, good few breaths. Now that tummy move. And release. Good. Have some water if you haven't had some already. Yes, I'm aware that I said autumn's all about slowing down. We're doing very strong practice. it can be hard to get energized. We can energize for our breath, and we energize for our movement. So trying to combine the two. Don't worry, later in the season, I'll definitely be giving you some more yin style, nice, slow, steady breath postures, okay? But if we're doing a short one, we've got a quick burst of energy where we want to do some yoga. Why not, hey? So when I think of autumn, I automatically think of the trees and the changing of the trees. So we're going to come into our tree posture. Have a little root for your feet. Make sure you're working with all four corners. Lift the toes up and place them down one by one. Finding that good solid base. Roll those shoulders open. Tuck our tailbone under, this time to squeeze that core. That's going to give us the strength and the sturdiness to hold our tree, building on that really strong trunk. Now, what our tree does teach us is that we cannot rush into things. We know that an oak tree takes a long time to grow, okay? So don't let the ego get in the way of where you feel like your foot should be. We're going to take our right knee out to the side. Now, if you feel comfortable here, with that toe touching and the foot on the ankle, that's still a tree, and that's already working on your balance, okay? We keep the hips nice and level. If you'd like to take it further, you can take it up to your calf, or you can take it up into your thigh, but avoid that knee. Good, and if you feel wobbly, take it down a notch. Find your strength there first, then gradually build up. Hands come into prayer position. Elbows nice and wide, and push those fingers into each other, almost like they're pushing in for support. Hips stay level throughout. Top tip, find something that doesn't move and look towards it. Take some nice deep breaths. Allow that exhale to help you put down those roots again. Like a runaway train, we've had that big burst of energy. Now we're slowly starting to put the brakes on, okay? Working into those slow, steady, strong postures rather than that little bit of heat we've created. Exhaling down the roots. As we root down, we release a little bit of that heat. Good. Hold it here, or inhale, take those arms wide and up. Exhale, bring your hands together. The shoulders cascade down the back. Next exhale, bring those hands just above the head. Inhale, take them up. Exhale, release. One hand to the back, release the leg. Shake it out. Good. I'm going to come on to do the other side. Rock on the feet. Good. Turn out the left leg. Again, you can have your foot here. If that feels too much, feel free to grab a chair or feel free to grab a little bit of wall for a bit of extra support. Absolutely fine to do. Bring it to your calf or bring it up into your thigh, whichever one feels right for you. Remember that each side feels slightly different, so don't worry if one side felt very sturdy. You need to take it down a little bit on another side. That's fine. Fingers going together, elbows wide. Good. Push into those fingers for support. Good. Just like the trees, we grow better together. Finding that connection with one another, even from far apart. So as we use that exhale to root and ground through the feet, let that inhale help us feel nice and light on top. You can hold it here, or we can inhale, look for that light with the hands growing up. Good. On your next exhale, bring these hands just above the head again. Just working into those shoulders. And we inhale, lift back up. Exhale, release the arms. And then we can release the leg. Shake it out. Good. We're going to come back down to the mat. So come towards the start of the mat. We're going to do a fold, step into down dog, and then we'll come into our first child's pose. So when you're ready, rock on the feet, feel nice and grounded, feel nice and level throughout. Hands are strong again, ready for that forward fold. We're going to inhale, lift the arms up. As we exhale, lengthen, reach forward. And on the last of that exhale, full fold. So great in your back to do that as well. Don't worry about the positioning of your back too much. Just think about hinging from the hips and keeping that chest slightly open. Now we're going to bend the knees as much as we need to be able to step back with that right leg, then the left leg, coming back to our down dog. Keep that nice long spine, shoulders pulling away from the ears, bottom up to the sky, and using that exhale to lengthen through the legs. Nice deep breath in. On the exhale, bring the knees down to the floor. Take them nice and wide. And we're going to push that bottom back to the heels, reaching our hands forward and bringing our forehead to the floor. We're going to take 3 or 4 breaths here. This is a great one for getting into the hips, an amazing one for lengthening through the spine. As we inhale, we can creep those fingers forward. As we exhale, we can soften that bottom down to the heels a little bit more. Tummy moves with the breath. On your next exhale, lift your head, look up, walk those fingertips back up. We're going to come and sit on our bottom and come down onto our back. Good. As we come down to our back, have your feet into the floor. We're going to bring our arms out shoulder height, palms facing up, and we're going to cross our thighs. We're going to take our right thigh on top of our left thigh. Take a lovely deep breath here. On the exhale, drop the feet over to the left-hand side and take that gaze over to the right. So we're working into a really gentle, lovely spine twist where we can feel that stretch in the lower back. Now work with the breath. Allow that tummy to rise on the inhale. Belly button to spine on the exhale. But really start to lengthen that exhale out. And as we exhale, allow it to melt our shoulders and arms down into the ground. Allow it to help our legs feel a little bit heavier. Breathe. That exhale helping us release anywhere we're holding. Tummy moving with that breath. On the next exhale, slowly bring your legs back to the center. Bring both feet back into the floor. In your own time, take that left leg over the right leg. You get a little bit of cramp in your fingers, a little bit of pins and needles, it's all good stuff. That's the drainage system of the body working. Take a nice deep breath in. On the exhale, dropping them over to the right hand side this time and letting that head roll to the left. Have your eyes closed. Focus solely on that breath. Focus on that lengthening of the exhale. Scanning your body, noticing and understanding if you're holding anywhere. Just use that exhale to help you release and let go. So it feels like your whole body is just melting into the floor. Just softening, supported by the ground beneath. Each time you exhale, making it longer. Good. Now on the next exhale, slowly unwind back to the center again. Release those feet, bring the soles of the feet together, bring your hands down onto the lower abdominal. Bring it into Yoni Mudra, which is when our thumbs come together and our pointing fingers come together, making a diamond shape when the rest of the fingers spread out wide. Let those shoulders soften, cascading down the back. Let the hips open up naturally. And from here, if you're not familiar with this posture, do just take your head up and check your hips nice and level. And then just gradually, gently bring your head down. And take a few breaths there. Feel that breath moving underneath your fingers. Feeling that rise and fall of the tummy. Lifting the fingers on the inhale. Feeling them drop right back down on the exhale. And we're just going to take 2 more breaths here. Good. And on your next exhale, you'll just bring your knees gently back in together. Bring your heels towards your bottom. Let your toes be ever so slightly pigeon-toed. And by that, I mean those big toes are just tucking in a tiny bit. Hands are going to go by your sides, and your fingers are reaching towards those heels if you can. Now, we want to feel like our knees are hip distance apart here, and we're going to imagine that we're going to hold on to an imaginary block so we keep those glutes activated. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, lift that bottom up to the sky. Imagine that imaginary block in between your knees and give that a little squeeze. Then we're going to do 3 breaths from here. So watch the rise and fall of the tummy with the breath. Bring it back on that 3rd exhale. Nice and slowly bring it down to the ground, vertebrae by vertebrae. Now we're going to take a resting breath here. Good. On your next exhale, we're going to bring that bottom back up to the sky again. Now you can stay exactly where you were last time, or you can walk those shoulder blades in together, interlace those hands beneath you, and just start to exaggerate that bridge a little bit more. Remember to grab that imaginary block with your knees. And you can even walk those feet in a little bit closer to the bottom if you want to. Watch the rise and fall of the breath for 3 again. Keep that bottom lifted. Good. When you're ready on an exhale, walk those shoulder blades apart, release those hands, bring them down to the floor. And on an exhale, bring that spine back down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once your bottom touches the floor, we're going to bring our knees into the chest, give them a hug. And take a nice deep breath in on the exhale, bring your forehead up to meet the knees, hold it there on an inhale. As we exhale, release that head back down to the floor and have a gentle rock side to side. We're massaging the 5 layers of muscle that surround the spine, so be generous with it. You can even come right down to your elbows if you want to, and that feels good for you today. Otherwise, take it as far as feels good. Good. Lengthen those legs out in front of you. Just interlace those hands, stretch them up above our head, stretch finger to toes, just lengthen through. Let's just do 2 more of those flying breaths. Sigh out anything you don't want. Good, love that. Hands go down by the sides, palms face up. Let your feet fall mat width apart. This feels like you're putting a bit of pressure onto that lower back. You're just going to bend your knees, take your feet nice and wide, and let your knees drop in together. So that's the alternative here, okay? Equally, if you've got like a chair or wall, feel free to shoot your legs up the wall and let that blood rush to the head, but in a very good way. If you're led like me, in Shavasana on the floor, take a moment to actively stretch out that forehead. Check there's a little bit of a gap in between your teeth, so there's no tension in the jaw. And start to focus on the cool air coming in through the nose, and the slightly warmer air going out. Bringing that attention to the breath. Now I know we're doing a shorter class, but still take that time just to take a few breaths here. Using that exhale to help you soften and release through the body. You can visualize that breath working its way from toes, feet, ankles, to the legs, the knees, and the hips. The abdominals, the chest, the shoulders, and the arms. Using that exhale to help you soften, to help you release, and to help you melt down into the floor. Body coming into stillness. Only the tummy moving with the breath. And that breath, that exhale, helps us sink. Supported by the ground beneath. Held by the earth surrounding us. So when you are ready, you can have a wiggle of those fingers and toes. Gently roll onto any one side. Maybe make a little pillow out of your hands. Just take a breath or 2 here. And come up to sitting in your own time. You want to join me for one last breath? Do inhaling up, and we exhale down. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I hope you had a lovely little session, and I hope you have an even more wonderful autumn. Bye all.